Hi, fellow seekers. I'm Ryan. This is RNS Ministries channel, and this is season 1 of Developing His Worldview, episode 9. This week, we are going to continue our talk on creation and evolution, and this is part 2 in this series. Now, to pick up where we left off last week, we talked about how we've thrown biblical authority out the window. We have become a church that tries to explain away the Word of God, and this all started. Well, it's been going on since the fall, but a couple of hundred years ago, there was a movement in the 19th century where it was they wanted to remove God from society. So a guy by the name of Auguste Comte, he was a French philosopher, lived in the middle 19th century, and in the 1840s he wrote this series of books on positivity, and this series of books became this poster boy-ish for a to create a religion without a god, right? And they were this religion without a god um um needs to have a high priest. Okay, you can see this in the chart I've got right over here. This religion of without a god needs to have a high priest. You've got to have someone who is in authority, right? Because if you're going to remove God from society, you need to create some kind of a system, right? Well, this high priest, this becomes the teacher, right? Like what they did was they hijacked the already in place university system. Okay, this teacher who is a university professor becomes this high priest and teaches no God. They eliminate the male patriarchy and elevate the female above the male, right? Because that's the whole goal of this. Now, this religion without a god that has a high priest who is this teacher, and they eliminate the male patriarchy and they elevate the female above the male. This high priest has authority over a person's success. They create this system where they have to pay money to this high priest to ensure that they this person who is graduating from this university has the seal of approval, and they have this, you can trust this person because we have got a piece of paper that says that we can do what we said we are going to do. What we've done, as you can see down on the bottom there, what we've done is taken the university system and created this academia and this intellectual elitism. The Church of America today. We won't hire a minister if he doesn't have at least a bachelor's degree, preferably a master's degree. We make you go to school in the religion without a God, this high priest who has authority over your success, who gets a piece of paper from the institution to say that you can trust this person because they've been educated according to our standards. But the problem is that the standards are a religion without a God. We teach these people binary theology that is black and white and right and wrong, and I hate to tell you that the Bible is just not that simple. It is not this black and white kind of thing, either or kind of philosophy. Now, moving on to our next picture here. So what does this do? Okay. So we've got this religion without a God, this American institution that Auguste Comte kind of sets up, right? Darwin in the late 1850s becomes a poster boy for this. Evolution begins to gain speed, which, by the way, evolution is a racist construct. If you do not believe me, go and research what the title of Darwin's book is. I'll tell you, you need to not pay attention to the first part, but the last part, because you might just be shocked at the amount of racism that is in evolution. It's awful. This evolution starts to infiltrate our university system and becomes this intellectual elitism, right? This binary thinking, right? Well, Johnny Preacher Man over here, that's just kind of what I call him. Johnny Preacher Man over here has his Bible, and he is he has gone through academic system, and the academic system has taught him this idea of the bitp. His goal, Johnny Preacher Man's goal in his ministry, is to get butts in the pews or chairs, if that's what you've got. It's the bitp. It's the butts in the pews philosophy. Johnny Preacher Man has been educated by the system to get butts in the pews. Okay, this butts in the pews philosophy works on emotionalism. They pull on your heartstrings, and they manipulate people through their emotions. They are large group gatherings that divide out into small groups. Their focus is emotionalism, this big gathering, and then they do these small life groups on the side. What they're doing is there, as you can see the little arrow going down, you can see what they're trying to do is create an experience. What they've done is they've gone into debt over everything else. They've gone into debt. They've got these massive buildings and all of these massive bills that this debt now has to be paid off, and they've got bills to pay at the end of the month. So what they've done is created a consumer Christianity that has nothing more than the goal than to get butts in the pews so that they can pay their debt. We've turned the church into a business, essentially. All the while, as we're creating this emotional experience that we try to use to draw people in, we have been losing biblical authority, allowing for sin to run rampant in the church, allowing for things like evolution to run wild in the church that is not biblical at all. And as we move into our last slide here, old Johnny Preacher Man, you can see he's got his Bible there in his hand. He's been educated with a butts in the pews philosophy that has come from an academic model that teaches binary thinking and is a religion without a God. And therefore, what happens is our churches then are nothing more than businesses who are just trying to meet a bottom line. These churches are not moving and changing lives. They're not introducing people to Christ. Oh, I mean, they are, but they are not discipling them. They're not creating disciples who make disciples, because they are nothing more interested in nothing more than making sure that they meet their numbers. We need so many people in a baptistry. We need so many people in our worship gathering. We need so much money to come in at the end of the day. Does it sound familiar on the metrics of how we measure churches? Because it is. That is how we measure our churches. We don't do anything more than this. We're a consumer based church. All of this starts with an evolutionary mindset. Our society wants to create a religion without a God, and they have successfully done that. They have removed God from society. They have infiltrated the church, making the church nothing more than a business where God is not present. We've got an academic model that preaches a religion without a God, and an evolutionary system that completely removes biblical authority. I know some of this is hard to hear, and you are probably just sitting there going, man, you're absolutely nuts. And I might be. But this whole Auguste Comte positivity, like, if you look up things on social media, especially on Facebook and stuff, and you look up power of positivity, it's geared towards women, not men. You will find very few men in the power of positivity. If you find men in there, they are probably typically gay, feminine men. Charles Darwin becomes a poster boy of this religion without a God. You can trace it through history into the academic system, and you can trace it all the way through this. I hate to tell you, but Christians are not the racists. The people who are the racists are the ones crying racism, because they typically buy into the religion without a God that uses their poster boy of Darwin. And what we don't realize is that Darwin's book title is this. It's On the Origin of Species. That much you probably knew. Here's the rest of the title. On the origin of species by means of natural selection, or the preservation of favored races in the struggle of life. Tell me that's not a racist book. For the preservation of favored races? Let me tell you what, folks. Christians aren't the ones who are racist. It's evolutionists. you would do well if you don't subscribe to racism and that all men are created equal. You need to become a Christian, because this is what Christianity is about, is that all men came from Adam and Eve, one man, one woman, all races, all nations, all tongues, all come from the same man and woman, and therefore, in Christianity, there is no such thing as races, because we are all the human race. All of this stems from evolution. All of this division and racism and all of this stuff comes by eliminating the creation worldview. I want to thank you for joining me. I know this has been a little bit longer than usual, but I want to thank you for joining me. If you like this video, if you want to continue to see this series, because we're going to go on next week and continue on in this series. If you do, please like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification for the videos, and you will be notified for when these videos come out. These particular videos come out at Friday at noon. I want to thank you for joining me, Seekers, and we will see you next time on Developing His Worldview. Until then, God bless you. Love you guys.